So let's get started. Let's talk about how you get your work in my videos. So all you have to do is go to istebrak.com and click on the little subreddit icon here. It'll take you to my subreddit. We have two really big events happening at the moment in the channel. The first one is the Floral Humanoids Design Challenge, and it is booming. There are so many people who have started drafting, designing their little floral humanoid. I'm so amazed at the sheer volume of it. And there's the Discord community. If you want to be part of the Discord community, also super active. The critique channel is just like booming as well. There's a general critique channel you can join. People are just excited. They're just itching to give you a critique, and the people who are critiquing right now, the active critiquers at the moment, are so passionate about helping you. If there are people who have missed out on the news of the sale, my masterclass teaches you how to draw a face from scratch, even if you don't know how to draw anything at all. I tell you everything you need to know. All you need is Photoshop, or you don't even need Photoshop. Because all of my fundamentals are universal, traditional, non-Photoshop, digital. It stretches across all of these mediums because it's about fundamentals and principles of design and technique and all that. And of course, Portrait Studio, you guys have seen it. It's amazing software. All of it is on sale at the moment, but probably till the end of, most likely not till the end of this week. Okay, so let's talk about this little green boy. Lil Green Boy. You wanted to add magic. What you added was an eerie, creepy, slimy atmosphere. Why? Because of this particular spooky green. This particular green, is a green used across all kinds of media, but mostly we see it prominently in Disney, and like 90s cartoons, movies. So this green is an evil green. I can't use any pictures on this video because I'll get copyrighted, because it's mostly Disney and big studios that are the best example of it. But this green is a very particular type of green. If you wanted it to feel like nighttime, so let's talk about exactly what's happening in the narrative of the story. We have a kid who has a friend as a frog, and the frog is looking at the starry sky. Did you notice that the frog is mesmerized by the sky? No, you did not, because this huge belly of the frog is taking up the main focus of the illustration. How do you find a focal point? You guys think that focal points are this extremely scary, difficult to figure out thing about composition. You divide the canvas, find the center of the canvas, and what's happening in the center of the canvas. That's it, baby. Sometimes artists like to be a little fancy with it and maybe make it slightly off center. Maybe make it share with two other little points of interest. Maybe throw it off this way. Maybe put it up this way. But here, 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 and here. Sometimes here, but it's just generally this area. So if we cut your canvas and draw this huge cross on it, we find there's absolutely nothing interesting happening here. There's not much here. And there's all the cool stuff is happening up here. And all I'm doing is duplicating the layer and bringing it down, so that that central cross of the canvas is near to or at that point of interest at the top. Okay, so now you don't have to worry about the hands. Now you don't have to worry about the kid losing space at the top. And now you can add just more points of intrigue where they're supposed to go. So now that we fixed that, let's go back to that color. You can fix that color with a simple little shift in the colors, just like that. For some reason, things are looking a little funny. I think it's the level of saturation that you have, which is extreme. I'm just going to shift things over into blue. So I'm just using multiply to try to darken, but also maintain contrast. And all I'm trying to do is darken the piece. This watercolor here is just horrid, so I'm going to try to fix it and maybe darken it. But before I do, all I want to do is basically drop the values everywhere else in the scene except for the eyes of the frog. And a little bit of the face of the frog. And of course, in little slivers, the shiny sliminess of the frog. New layer, dropping the back value, even into the arms of the frog. And just with my lasso, and look what's happening. Are you noticing what's happening? What's happening now to the focal point? Now that I'm doing all of this, something is happening. Do you see it? Suddenly we're drawn closer and closer to the eyes of the frog. I like the little bit of bounce light you added along the sides of the frog. So I'm actually going to accentuate them a little bit. So now I'm going to get dodge tool and I'm going to go crazy on the eyes of the frog. And I'm going to just bring in whatever I want to those eyes. I'm going to try to just bring in more realism all around. And I can do that with dodge tool, kind of giving it some strength and trying to show where those see-through film is on the eyes of the frog. But obviously I doubled the layer so that I could go back and be a little bit more detailed and strict with what exactly is getting that extreme film of dodge tool. You have these little Ocarina of Time style fairies here, and we'll bring in the fairies in a little bit. So actually I'll bring them in now. I don't want to bring them in as little characters like that. I want to bring them in as atmospheric particles, something like that. So what I'm going to do is just place a couple just like hanging out. If it's fireflies, that's different. Let me just duplicate the layers so they really pop. Merge layers. Pick a couple so that they're just flying in random directions. Give them some activity, that cricketing at night, the soft breeze of the night atmosphere. You just get so much when you remember that the little nightlife that happens. So instead of making them these tiny little characters, give them a bit more motion than that. So I'm using motion blur, picking a couple to just do some random flight patterns with motion blur. Then I'm gonna get into layer style and just do an outer glow. I'm just gonna first get the size right, the spread right, the range, keep that low so it stays feathered, and then just mess with the colors. Whichever color breaks the atmosphere, feels more like nighttime. This reminds me of, this particular palette is reminding me, I love it. I love this one, I'm keeping this one. This one reminds me of Princess and the Frog. By the way, today's class is going to be uploaded on YouTube as not a clip, but a shortened version. If you want the fuller version, please join as a watcher. It's only $1 a month to get tons of free videos. Well, not free, it's $1. Please consider joining us on Patreon if you learned something today. Please consider joining as a watcher. So I'm just going to be darkening this while keeping that blue intact. I'm just darkening some more until it feels like that grass is present. So this is me blurring the grass in the front. It's creating a lens blur, and that is not an effect you should be trying to hand paint. It's just a small little thing that's adding a little bit of realism. You shouldn't be trying to hand paint it. So you could grab the boy's head and chop it off and tilt it over on the side while it's tilted just like that. He's napping like Buddha, which is very symmetrical, kind of like an enlightened boy who can, you know, you need to make it look like a human napping, which is just asymmetrical. And then you could grab his hand and put it like that while the boy is napping. Okay, so let's take a look at the before and after. So we talked about composition, lighting, light environment, and balancing. So before, you see that evil green? and then after. Before, after. If you miss those lower parts of the canvas, you could, if you wanted to, raise it up a little bit. I, for the sake of the lesson, centered the frog pretty much. You could, if you wanted to, bring this guy back up a little bit more. So you could bring him up like up to here. No more than that though. Like that's still a push. No more than that if you wanted to show a little bit more of the frog's hand and stuff. But I don't miss the frog's hand at all. I don't feel like we're missing out. The Froggy Guide to the Night. Aww. So before, now this is what I mean by that airy green. Please look it up in the, just Google search it. I do have a little resource. I'm going to actually post that resource onto the Discord. So the Discord, you can find the link to the Discord on my website, istebrak.com. If you want to see the little resource I have a little sheet of green usage in animation. I'll post it to the Discord. Please join us on the Discord so you can see it. If you learned something today and you want to give back, please go to istebrak.com and join as a patron. Click on the little Patreon link here. Join as a watcher. It's just $1 a month, but if everybody joins, it's a lot, and it supports the channel. So you may say, oh, the next guy will do it. It's just $1, but it's not. Doesn't work like that. People barely join. I want this community backed. I want it a little bit more active. I know that it's been running for a long time, but lately it's just been a little more difficult each time, watching the views, watching the lack of participation everywhere. Not that I want like millions of people participating, but it's just, you know, a real bummer what's happening to the channel, and I'm not sure why it's happening. But it really does go a long way when you guys support the channel that way. It keeps it back. It keeps it, it makes me feel like there's a huge following there. And please like the videos, comment on them. If you can just write a quick little frog emoji, it doesn't matter. As long as you're commenting, you're going to get notifications. That's really what the algorithm is all about. And if you want to submit your work for critique, please go to istebrak.com and click on the subreddit icon right here. I don't know if I got this piece from the subreddit. I think I did. There's also the community and the Discord community right here. Community tab, Discord server, and click on that to join the Discord. There's also the general critique channel on my Discord, and that's where I pick pieces to critique as well. I pick them from 2 different places. There's the Floral Humanoid Design Challenge that's running right now. It's really, really cool. So many cool submissions so far. It'll be due towards the end of May or mid-May. I'll let you guys know. Definitely before June. Probably that last Tuesday of May, I will be deciding on the winner the night before and hosting the Critique Hour that May 30th. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll let you guys go. And please consider joining as a patron. And don't forget, on my store, everything is half off, including my masterclass, which teaches you how to paint a female face from front view. But I also have a way that I approach it is that obviously it doesn't matter what you're painting, the fundamentals are still there. You still learn about core shadows and geometric anatomy, types of edges, all of my main techniques, radial shading. It's just what you pick up and skill here is extremely universal, and then you get a face the face is the added bonus after that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll let you guys go. Bye everyone.